Texas A&M, an unblemished record on the road in SEC play. They'll put that to the test against the Vanderbilt Commodores in one of the toughest environments in the SEC, historic Memorial Gymnasium. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Neal alongside former Auburn Tigers star Damian Fishback. Glad you could join us here in Nashville, Tennessee. And Damian, boy, this Texas A&M team, they have done it with defense. They've had their moments offensively. This Vanderbilt basketball team was cruising along at 5-1 in league play. They have dropped 2 in a row. How do they get this back against a tough Aggie squad?
Well, it's going to be difficult. Texas A&M is 11th in the nation, holding teams to 55 points a game. But it's a rough and rugged Vanderbilt team. Have been struggling of shooting lately, but they've got a couple of guards who are outstanding from the perimeter, Dave.
Yeah, they shot just 22% in their last outing, and that's going to have to change. And these two players will be the catalyst to make that happen: Christina Fogarty and Jasmine Lister.
Well, Fogarty actually leads the conference in scoring at 19 points a game, but Lister is the one who's been struggling of late. Teams have decided we're going to pick one, and Lister has been the one that they've been choosing. She will have to continue to work off of the ball, try to get into the teeth of the defense to create more offense for herself and for her team.
Well, Gary Blair's club, they won a national championship in 2011, and they continue to have success. This year, they're doing it behind a couple of Courtneys.
Well, when you look at both of these Courtneys, Courtney Walker, 13 points a game and 3.9 rebounds. Both of them excel in the mid-range jump shot. Courtney Williams especially, she does it both inside and out. They bring back what I call the lost art of women's basketball, which is the mid-range game. You'll see 2 specialists here with the Texas A&M Aggies.
All right, well, this Texas A&M team has been on the road since last Wednesday. They hope to end this road trip with a win. Vandy will have something to say about that. We'll have the tip-off, lineups, and all the other stuff coming up after this. They're wearing their white. What? Are they both wearing white? No. All right. Wouldn't that be something if they all wore white? With no names on the back. Seriously. I love it. Texas A&M can get off the court now if they want it. Toyota starting lineup, so Woody, you forgot to mention that. Back in Nashville, Commodore fan in pink. It's a pink out game between Texas A&M and Vanderbilt, a top 25 matchup. As you look at our Toyota starting lineups, this is the 5 for Gary Blair's club: Williams, Oddie, Jones, Walker, and Gilbert. A big lineup. Three players over 6 feet in that lineup. Meanwhile, for Vanderbilt, ranked 16th in the country, 16-5, 5-3 in the SEC play. There is one change in their starting 5 as Marquez Webb, the freshman, will get the start over Heather Bovey this afternoon. There is Melanie Balcom, school's all-time winningest coach, this past Jim Foster. On the other side, Gary Blair, been doing this for a long, long time. It's his 11th year at Texas A&M, but 28th year overall, 17-5 this year, won the national title back in 2011. He's been to a couple of Final Fours in his illustrious career, also a member of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. This is an A&M team that's coming off a 71-54 win against Auburn on Thursday. They had to fly into Atlanta on Wednesday, which is what could have been your worst nightmare, but they were able to get over to Auburn. But instead of traveling back to College Station, they just headed right over here to Nashville. So they've been in the Music City for a couple of days. Not a bad place to be, I guess. You got to spend an extra day or two. And Texas A&M, by the way, will wear their whites. They weren't aware of the pink out game until late, so they had to call back to College Station, get their jerseys and uniforms sent over, so they'll wear white. Vanderbilt will wear their all-pink uniforms as Vanderbilt does a nice gesture in bringing awareness to breast cancer with this pink out game here today inside Memorial Gymnasium. Meanwhile, the series history is not a whole lot of history. They split last year's meetings, just the 5th time they have met on the hardwood. You look at our officials, Mark Zintz, Eric Koch, and Meta Roberts, the 3 in stripes today. So, Texas A&M with the basketball first with a chance to score and put some points on the board, averaging 67 points a game. That's only 11th in the league, but defensively, few are better. They are 3rd, giving up just 55 points an outing. First shot of the game, a turnaround off the mark from Achiri Ade.
Not a surprise that Vanderbilt starts out in a matchup zone. Spoke with Coach Blair before the game, and he expected Coach Balcom to throw multiple defenses at them today.
Gilbert with the block shot. 42 blocks, now 43, leads this team. Last touch by Vanderbilt before it went out of bounds, so it'll belong to the Aggies. Vanderbilt coming off 2 losses in a row. They lost to Missouri on Thursday, 59-54. Lost to South Carolina last Sunday by 4. Both those games decided in the final 30 seconds. Another chance for the Aggies. Jones will fire off the front of the rim. Big rebound pulled out of there by Achiri Ade, the 6'1 junior, averaging 7.5 boards.
You can already see the Aggies trying to establish their physical presence on the interior, dominating the glass. Come up empty, though, on this trip.
Morgan Beatty grabbed the rebound for Vanderbilt. Lister kicks it off to Christina Fogarty. That shot no good. Loose ball on the floor. And there to say a foul against Vanderbilt. Texas A&M will have it.
Like the hustle by Webb from Vanderbilt, even though she comes up with the foul, she actually gets the opportunity to start in this game because she's really displayed a nice job of standing up to the physicalities, even in the losses on the road to Missouri and at home in the previous game here against the Gamecocks.
Jones thought about it. Now entry pass. That won't go. Tapped around. Rebound. But once again to Beatty. Lister. Nice ball handling skills. Draws the contact out on the floor. And that foul will be whistled against Jordan Jones of Texas A&M.
Well, as you see Lister here on the fast break, you see her exploding, working hard to get to the rim. And, you know, as you're struggling to score, that's one of the adjustments that Lister has to make, is try to get to the basketball paint area and try to draw fouls at point-blank range.
Marquez Webb, the 6'1 freshman out of Hoover, Alabama, averaging 7 points a game, gets her first basket. Foul on the floor before the shot against Vanderbilt. That will go against Morgan Beatty, the sophomore out of Atlanta.
Texas A&M has made it obvious they're going to try to establish their inside presence with Gilbert. She's 6'5", senior, definitely has a size advantage, but as of this time of the basketball game, Webb has done a good job of really standing up to her. All of the Commodores really playing physical on the interior.
In and out. Rebound on Vanderbilt on the rebound. They're going to hit Kylie Smith. Had her arm wrapped around Gilbert, I think, trying for that box out. So another chance now for the Aggies. Up ahead to Lister. Jasmine, little pull up off the window is good. Gary Blair getting in the way of the inbounds pass.
Coach Blair had a ton of stories before the game, talked about his history and how he got started, talked about coaching the likes of Dennis Rodman and his sisters in high school. Hall of Fame is such an outstanding coach.
Boy, Vanderbilt having a tough time rebounding the basketball, as Carla Gilbert will head to the free throw line. That is 4 team fouls now against Vanderbilt. And we haven't played 2 minutes or 3 minutes in this game yet. Gilbert, 16 points on Thursday against Auburn. Got the first free throw to go down.
Well, Gilbert is what separates Texas A&M. We talked about the Courtneys, both Walker and Williams at the outset. But Gilbert gives them their true form of inside presence. She gives them a sense of toughness and defensive execution. She's the last line of defense for the Aggies as well.
Here's Lister now. Shot clock gets under 10. Back to Jasmine. Trying to post up the freshman on the inside. Webb puts it back out and give the three to Kylie Smith. That is just her third three of the year. Was a 15% three-point shooter. Before that make, she was 2 of 13. Good patience by Vanderbilt. Talking to Bob Starkey, assistant coach at Texas A&M, long time over at LSU, was telling me about how efficient Vanderbilt's offense is and how they make you have to play for the full shot clock. Most teams, when it gets down around 10 seconds, will kind of go into a pickup game mode, but they still run their offense.
Well, the staff discussed that in halftime. At the shoot-around this morning, they discussed how Texas A&M was such a solid team defensively. They said run it through, continue to run it until they break down defensively.
Here's Jones, back the other way. 7-1 Vanderbilt lead. Little dump down and another foul on the inside. This will go against Marquez Webb. That'll take us to a timeout. Good start, though, for the Commodores. Okay, 2 on her. And we got 2 on Beatty. My man started to sweat. I mean, he might as well said, "Hey, you direct."
Back here where Vanderbilt has an early lead versus Texas A&M up 7-1. I want you to take a look here on this ball reversal. Now freeze it. Right there, watch Ade. She's going to sink down to the level of the basketball trying to guard Webb. All right, now let it go. Once she sinks down, as a result, she actually leaves Smith wide open for the jump shot, which is why it's so important to play the game from inside out. Webb didn't try to attack the score there, but because there was inside action, it left Smith open for the jump shot, and one of the reasons why the Commodores have 41% from the three-point line this year and lead the SEC and are 4th in the nation.
There you go, breaking it down for us. What are you supposed to do? I mean, you got to usually you double the post in a situation like that. Somebody's got to help on the perimeter, or does she just need to be quicker getting to the double team and getting back out?
Well, the key is that, even Vanderbilt, who loves to shoot the basketball from the three-point line, they don't really have a lot of inside presence. The key is that Webb didn't really try to score, but because they actually passed the basketball inside, the Aggies had to lower themselves to the level of the basketball, which left Smith open for that jump shot.
All about good spacing. Vanderbilt trying to build on the 6-point lead. A little bit of foul trouble for the Commodores. Webb has 2, Beatty has 2. Katie Schramm now to Lister. Shot clock down to 7. Reverse layup doesn't go for Bovey. And another rebound for Texas A&M.
Texas A&M just relentless in attacking that rim. Shots coming up short right now. Give credit to the Commodores for doing a good job and standing up to the physicality of the Aggies right now.
How about Texas A&M? They are 0 for 10 from the field to start this game. This is a team that shoots 43.5%, 8th in the league. Jasmine Jenkins with the basketball. She just checked into the game. Off to Bovey.
Aggies doing such a good job. You can see why they're the 11th ranked team in the country, holding teams to 55 points. They do a sound job on the defensive end, making you work for every pass, contest every shot as well.
Shot clock at 5 and a hand check on the outside. Boy, did Vanderbilt catch a break. He got the air ball, kept alive on the baseline, and then drew the foul against Texas A&M. And that foul will be whistled against Courtney Walker down on the floor, so Commodores will inbound it with a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock.
You know, Dave, Fogy for Vanderbilt, number 10 in pink, has always been a tremendous scorer. She's made 55 three-pointers this year, but where she has improved her game drastically is her ability to penetrate and get to the rim.
Tried to do it there, was cut off by the Aggies defensively. Here's Jenkins. Off to Kylie Smith. Now Fogy, 0 for 1 from the field, making 1 for 2.
There she is. Saw that in the South Carolina game especially. Both her and Lister struggled somewhat from the field in the Missouri game, but Texas A&M just struggling today. 0 of 10 from the field.
Make it 0 for 11. And Lister bumped by Scott out on the floor. Boy, Gary Blair getting a little frustrated the way things have gone for his club to start this game. Just 1 point on the board in 6 minutes of basketball.
In the Missouri game, Vanderbilt was actually down 16 points, made a pretty good run at it in the second half, but ended up coming up a little short. Missouri, a very difficult team to defend when they're knocking down that three-point shot, but the way they got back into the basketball game was defensively. They turned over Missouri 22 times.
Jenkins gets it to Lister. Shot clock again down to 7. Jenkins. Nice pass inside. Bovey can't get it to go. Aggies off on the run now. Here's Jones. Jones, nice. That is a tremendous pass to hit Scott Williams for the basket. That is now assist number 135 on the year for Jones.
One of the reasons why she was named to the Nancy Lieberman Award watch list on January the 15th. The nation's top point guards.
Well, that last pass snapped a 7-minute streak without a field goal for the Aggies.
Well, this is what you want from your point guards. You want unselfishness. You want the ability to get into the teeth of the defense, and Courtney Walker does a good job of finishing at the rim at point-blank range. Nice battle that time by Bovey on the block. She gets called for the foul. For young individuals watching Bovey, instead of getting the foul there, she was using too much of her upper body. If you're a post defender, you've got to try to move your feet and work your way around your opponent on the offensive end. There's only so much pushing and shoving you can do.
Off the inbounds play, give the basket to Carla Gilbert. Boy, there are 3 players for Vanderbilt that have registered 2 fouls in this game already. You got Smith, Webb, and Beatty. Next foul against the Commodores will send the Aggies to the free throw line. And boy, how about the look from Jones?
Absolutely beautiful. And Jones has precision vision in the open floor. And right now, Texas A&M is just determined to go to the paint every single play.
Bovee answers the call on the other end. The pace has certainly picked up now that Texas A&M is taking whatever was blocking the rim. They've removed that and made their last couple of shots down the floor. After an 0 for 11 start. And the follow goes down from Courtney Williams. For the size of Texas A&M causing all kinds of problems for Vanderbilt. And there's a foul across the arm against Courtney Williams. That'll take us to our under 12 timeout. Texas A&M has cut this down to 2. Back in a moment. Gary Blair drawing it up in that Texas A&M huddle. Once again, Texas A&M wearing their white uniforms despite being on the road against Vanderbilt in their pink on a pink out Sunday here at Memorial Gym.
Well, and Dave, that's a play that Vanderbilt tried to prepare for, just weren't quite ready. And this is when you look at Jones in the fast break, the nice no-look pass on the interior and the nice finish by Scott Williams. And here's just Fogey just trying to get in on the defensive rebound, lost her footing. I think it was the correct no call there. But give credit to Texas A&M. Started out first 6:48, 0 of 11 from the field. Since then, 4 of 5, and have led to an 8-2 run now for the Texas A&M Aggies.
Free throw is good from Jasmine Jenkins, an 85% foul shooter on the year. Now 52 out of 61. Coming off back-to-back games with 8 points against South Carolina and Missouri. Both those games losses for the Commodores. Now 5-3 in league play is Vanderbilt. Walker pull-up jumper, no good. Another offensive rebound. That is number 6 for Texas A&M.
Winning the rebounding war on the offensive end 6-1, Dave. The difference in this basketball game.
It'll belong to Vanderbilt. Tia Long, sophomore out of Dayton, Ohio, heading back the other way.
If you're Vanderbilt right now, we talked about their guards, but as they continue to display patience
I love it when they go inside. I think it's very good to attack the bigs of Texas A&M, put the onus on the officials to make a call.
Well, Vanderbilt stepped on that baseline right in front of Gary Blair. He was quick to point it out to our officiating crew.
Well, that time Beatty for Vanderbilt just tried to go a little too quick. Against your better defensive teams, it's better to move sides of the floor, really try to work the defense. Take your time on the offensive end. Give the defense an opportunity to break down.
Now it's free throws for Texas A&M. Foul. I guess Jasmine Jenkins will send Tori Scott to the free throw line. Tori, a junior out of Marrero, Louisiana. 6.5 points per game. Curtis Knox will check in, the redshirt freshman. First action this afternoon. That rebound right into the hands of Jasmine Jenkins.
Scott's been playing well for Texas A&M, actually averaging nearly 9 points away from Reed Arena, so she's played very good on the road. Texas A&M down 4 will need her today. Interesting the styles that are colliding today. For Vanderbilt, it seemed like they would try to get out into transition more because they're a little undersized on the interior, try to score a little bit quicker. And then when the defense is set up for Texas A&M, I like what they're doing on this end, taking their time and breaking them down.
Here come the Aggies back the other way, trailing by 4. They have trailed throughout the game today. Shot clock now down to 8. Knox hands it off to Tori Scott into the lane, and offensive foul taken by the sophomore Long.
Tia Long out of Dayton, Ohio. Now that's how you take a charge, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of those offensive fouls where you're not sure if you want to get in there, but you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, so you may as well go ahead and get the reward for it.
Jenkins, nice ball handling through some traffic, lays it up and in.
Nice collective help defense by Vanderbilt. You can tell defensively, Coach Balcom has told them to defend by committee.
Out on the open floor, Courtney Walker, layup is good. Boy, she's got some speed.
Some speed, athleticism. You know, when you play a Texas A&M team, you have to make sure that you stand up to the physicality. When you look at them defensively, they'll really make you guard very hard on the offensive end. We've already seen them on the offensive glass, and then the athleticism as you get out into the open floor. When you turn it over, they'll make you pay.
Rebound off to Gilbert.
Coach Blair talked about this being one of the most difficult arenas to play in because he likes to run his sets. And, you know, right now they can't see Coach Blair, which makes it a little bit more difficult on the offensive end.
And that'll be free throws coming up for Vanderbilt. That foul whistled against Curtis Knox. So Fogarty will step to the free throw line, and Fogarty has been there a lot this year. 130 attempts on the season. He's a 73% foul shooter on the year. What I like about Fogarty, not only does she average 19 points a game leading the conference, but she has 75 assists as well.
Well, that's what you look for when you have a star player like Fogarty. Obviously, her and Lister have been the two main scorers, but for Vanderbilt to be as successful as they want to be, they're going to have some more individuals pick it up when Lister struggles like she did versus Missouri.
Good-looking baseline jumper from Courtney Walker, who's 14th in the conference, averaging 13.9 points per game, makes it a 4-point contest again. And Mark Zintz almost kept it alive for the Aggies, but Texas A&M stepped out of bounds. Good speed down the left side from Courtney Walker results in a layup, but Vanderbilt still leads by 4. If you're ever late, Vanderbilt +4 in the column that matters. 7:40 to go here in the opening half from Nashville. Boy, you look at this Texas A&M defense. Bob Starkey, the assistant coach, kind of handles the defense. Gary Blair will kind of handle the offense. And Bob Starkey, who did it so long at LSU, is doing a number again with this group. I mean, they are just as solid as it comes.
Well, and that's something that you see when you look across the SEC. I mean, you talk about other good defensive teams in this conference. Second and third that come to mind, the Gamecocks, who Vanderbilt just faced in this arena. And then Arkansas, obviously, that's holding teams to 62 and 60 points, respectively, per game in conference play. Stagnant trip this time offensively for Vanderbilt.
Offensive foul on Lister. Shot clock was down to 3. Jasmine trying to create some offense. Good defense, though, by Texas A&M and Chelsea Jennings. Jenkins, long rebound.
Nice.
Couldn't convert.
Well, you got to finish that, but I like the mindset of Jenkins in trying to score in transition before that stifling defense of Texas A&M has the opportunity to have 5 young ladies set up.
Ratia Long whistled for the foul. 1-1 coming up now for Jordan Jones. He's an excellent free throw shooter at 79%. As Vanderbilt makes a substitution, Kylie Smith back on the floor. Smith has a couple of personal fouls. 9 team fouls whistled against Vanderbilt here in the opening half, and there's still quite a bit of time left, just under 7 minutes to go.
Texas A&M, you look at some of their victories throughout this season. Obviously have played well early in the season and played extremely well at Reed Arena as they get into SEC play. Up at the top of the league, knocked off Alabama and at LSU, at Georgia. So got a good streak going early in conference, but a long, tedious schedule in the SEC. Still a long road to go for the Aggies.
Boy, there's that defense from Texas A&M again. It is so hard for Vanderbilt to get that initial pass to set up their offense. Bob Starkey's group doing a nice job. Jones dumps it inside. Good defense by Fogarty, and then a whistle and a foul against the Commodores. And that will go against Jasmine Jenkins. That's her second.
Lesson to be learned in the game of basketball. Texas A&M Aggies started out very slow, didn't score a lot, but they continue to take it to the paint. And when you go inside and you don't settle for jump shots, not only do you get an opportunity to score points at point-blank range, but you see the foul trouble that the Vanderbilt Commodores are already getting some of their better players out of the game now.
Substitution as 6'7" Rachel Mitchell will check into the game. The redshirt sophomore out of Houston, Texas, with her first appearance.
Mitchell with good length inside, really disrupts on the interior. Let's see if Vanderbilt shies away or they go right at her.
Fogarty pull-up jumper doesn't work. Rebound hauled out of there by Chelsea Jennings and threw it away.
No doubt in my mind that Mitchell discouraged Fogarty from taking that basketball inside. We talked about how she had been taking it to the interior and how she had progressed from last season. You see 6'7", long arms, and good length on the interior. It makes you think twice if you're a Vanderbilt Commodore of taking it to the paint.
Jasmine Lister back at the point now for the Commodores. She'll move off to the two-guard spot when Jasmine Jenkins is on the floor. Jenkins back on that Vandy bench now. Here's Fogarty. Just 1 out of 4 from the field is Fogarty. Fouled on the way up with 7 on the shot clock.
Anytime you can get the basketball around the free throw line, it gives you opportunities to score. That was a solid defensive trip by Texas A&M. They guarded screens extremely well, but when all else fails, you got the basketball in the hand of the SEC leading scorer, Fogarty, and she does a good job of attacking the rim and, again, getting the officials to blow the whistle.
Fogarty with 5 points now. She is 3 out of 3 at the line. A couple of assists to her credit. So Fogarty coming off a disappointing game against Missouri when she had just 10 points on 1 of 9 from the field, 0 for 6 from behind the arc.
But she did go 8 of 10 from the free throw line, which is showing you the importance of getting to the charity stripe. Got her in the double figures, but obviously give credit to Missouri for doing an outstanding job defensively.
Lister with the steal. In traffic, couldn't get it to go. Jones back the other way. Walker. Offensive foul. Fogarty drew the charge.
When you face this Commodore team, you have to be cognizant of where they are on the floor at all times. You know, we talked about them being undersized somewhat, but we've seen multiple Commodores give up their body and take charges. Those are the type of plays that help you win basketball games, and one of the reasons why the Commodores are playing so well this year.
Lister, pull-up jumper, perfect. Jasmine Lister now with 4 points. She's 2 out of 4 from the field. Back to a 5-point game. Vandy's largest lead has been 8. Texas A&M has never led. That jumper off the mark. Bovey gets the outlet to Lister. Katie Schramm knocks down a 3. Her 4th 3 of the year. She's 4 out of 11, and Vandy's lead is back to 8. Commodores up 24-16. Back to Memorial in a moment. Back inside Memorial Gym where Vanderbilt leads it by 8.
Well, watch Lister on this play. Freeze it right here. Watch the use of the shot fake. Okay, let it go. As Lister uses the shot fake, it allows herself to get open because it makes Jones move to the opposite side of the screen. And then watch her in the fast break. Lister out open to the open floor. She dribbles into the teeth of the defense, freeze it. You see all the convergence of all the Aggies. Let it go. Once she moves, it actually allows Strand to be open for the three-point jump shot. A phenomenal job of Lister using the shot fake and getting early offense off the transitional fast break for the Commodores.
Vanderbilt shooting 40% from the field. They've hit 2 of 3 from behind the arc. Meanwhile, Texas A&M really struggling. Remember, they missed their first 11 shots of the game. They've improved a little bit, but still at 27%. That'll go up here after the jump shot by Courtney Williams, who's 17th in the conference in scoring.
One of the things about the Aggies is that they have plenty of offensive weapons. When you look at the Commodores, it's more Lister and Fogarty. But after Courtney Walker and Courtney Williams for the Aggies, you've got Gilbert, who can put up nearly 10 points a game. You've also got Ade as well, who puts up 9 points and nearly 8 rebounds. So a few more weapons to get themselves going offensively on the Aggie side.
Gilbert will check back in.
Beatty had a good game earlier this season where she scored 11 points in the win over Ole Miss.
3:40 to go. First half basketball from Nashville on Super Bowl Sunday. Williams shot blocked by Fogarty, who got her in the arm. Two shots coming up for Williams. Texas A&M had 27 turnovers against Auburn, the most of the year. Still won that contest by 17 points despite all those turnovers. Today, they are sitting on 8 turnovers. Auburn runs a lot of pressure, full court pressure, and caused A&M all kinds of issues. Vanderbilt, not a whole lot. They're not a big pressing team.
Not a big pressing team unless they have to be, but do a good job of really getting out and being sticky on the defensive end in the half court. And right now, any turnover they get, they need to try to use to get into the open break, because this Aggie defense, obviously 11th in the country, has been sensational today.
Oh, in and out for Bovey. Kept alive underneath by Katie Schramm. Here's Lister. Fogarty all the way to the basket. Probably would have better served to pull up and hit the little 10, 12-foot jumper.
Well, definitely with her being a little undersized, but I like her aggressiveness and continue to go to the rim. That's how you go 8 of 10 when you're struggling from the field. That's why she's the leading scorer in the SEC.
Lister's shot no good. Easy rebound for Carla Gilbert, who's 9th in the conference in rebounds. And a foul on Bovey. A little mismatch with a much taller Gilbert at 6'5". Bovey goes at 6 feet even.
You know, I spoke with Coach Blair before the game, and I said, what does Texas A&M have to do to win this basketball game? And his strategy is similar to what South Carolina and Missouri took. He said he feels like that you have Fogarty and Lister, who are both very good scorers. The first thing is you can't allow the role players to come out and get double-figure points. He said, but more importantly, if we can take out one of their major scorers, we feel like we have an opportunity to win the basketball game.
Gilbert, put back, count it to the free throw line. She will go. Boy, the size for Texas A&M has just been a handful for Vanderbilt today.
Well, it's the size, and you see the continuous attack, but after the missed shot, there's just no box out by Vanderbilt. If you're the Commodores right now, you can't just turn around. You've got to try to root your opponent out and get them away from the basket.
Texas A&M has cut it back to 3. Biggest lead for Vandy's been 8 here in the first half. Lister with 4 points. Fogarty with 6 points. The team's 2 leading scorers. Here's Fogarty now. Shot clock again down to 7.
That's pretty.
Fogarty with the basket.
Love her improvement off of the bounce this season. You can see why she leads the conference in scoring and scores a basket when her team needs it the most, though.
Now 8 points for Christina. Jones for 3, in and out. Lister the rebound.
Much better job of boxing out that time by the Commodores.
Lister into traffic. Bovee wasn't there. Taken away by Jordan Jones. Her pass a little too far. Vandy will have another chance.
Like the decision here. Veteran backcourt, 2 seniors in Lister and Fogarty for Vanderbilt. Slow the game up a little bit. If you want to, you can actually get 2 for 1 though with the time left on the clock.
Shot clock down to 3. And a shot clock violation against Vanderbilt. 46 seconds to go before halftime.
Lister is a smaller guard, listed as 5'4". If you're a smaller guard, you have to make different decisions when that shot clock is going down. Probably to pull up. Tough to get over the outstretched of 6'5" Gilbert.
Rebound into the hands of Long. Shot clock is turned off. Vanderbilt wants a timeout with 23 seconds. Melanie Balkan with a couple of options on this little set, and I would think option number 1 would be Christina Fogarty, who leads the team with 8 points this afternoon. Matter of fact, on the other side, Gilbert leads A&M with 9.
Well, if you're Vanderbilt right now, Dave, first and foremost, what she's telling her group is that we want the last shot. We don't want to give Texas A&M another opportunity. Played a good first half. We're up 5 here at home. With that being said, I think you're exactly right. Fogarty has been solid here in this first half, so you want to try to run your set, but you have to run it a little bit earlier because this Texas A&M defense is so good. If you do it like you normally would with maybe 7 or 8 seconds left to go, there's a chance you probably don't get a good look at the basket. So I assess the Coach Balcom has said, let's try to get going at about 15 or 16 seconds left to go in the basketball game where we can run our offense and make sure we change sides of the floor to work this Texas A&M defense a little bit more.
Lister with the basketball, defended by Jones. Boy, 2 of the quicker guards you will see in the country going head-to-head with Lister and Jones. Lister the senior, Jones the sophomore. 13 seconds to go before the horn sounds.
Got to go now if you're Vanderbilt.
There's Fogarty. Christina, fall away. Perfect.
She likes that too. A little Dirk Nowitzki off of the one leg and gives Vanderbilt some momentum into the halftime.
30-23. Christina Fogarty in double figures with 10. Ends the half on a positive note for Vanderbilt. Texas A&M really struggled shooting the basketball at 29% in the first 20 minutes. But they're only down 7. A lot of basketball left. Our halftime activities coming up on the other side. Tell me when. Halftime here, Memorial Gymnasium, where Vanderbilt leads it by 7. Commodores trying to break a 2-game losing skid. Meanwhile, Texas A&M, the only team in the league that has yet to lose a road conference game. They are 4-0. We'll come back with our halftime activity. Stay with us.
SEC Basketball is presented by Regions Bank and Toyota.
Halftime here, Memorial Gymnasium, where Vanderbilt leads it by 7. Commodores trying to break a 2-game losing skid. Meanwhile, Texas A&M, the only team in the league that has yet to lose a road conference game. They are 4-0. We'll come back with our halftime activity. Stay with us. Halftime here at historic Memorial Gymnasium in Nashville, Tennessee. 30-23 is our score after 20 minutes of basketball. Dave Neal back alongside Damian Fishback, and first half's in the books. And I don't know if it was just Texas A&M being cold or good defense, but the Aggies missed their first 11 shots to get this game going and never really got it going offensively. They had a couple of spurts, but overall they shot less than 30%.
Well, I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Commodores. I thought they came out, they were very physical defensively. They matched the physicalities. Give credit to Webb. Now, they did get into foul trouble early in the basketball game, but also give credit to Texas A&M. They were relentless in attacking the basket, and the defense was there the entire first half.
Speaking of defense, yeah, that Aggie defense was stellar once again, one of the best in the country in terms of numbers, and they did it early to this Vanderbilt team.
Well, watch how they communicate. You see early help that time and a nice block on the interior by Scott, and then you see a good job offensively getting out into the lanes. And every time Texas A&M is on the defensive end, they're in your passing lanes. Look at the quick foot movement. There's communication the entire time defensively. They're on the floor getting after loose balls, but Vanderbilt was not to be denied. They ended up turning some good defense into offense as well. You see Lister getting out here on the open floor, and then she comes off of the screen, does a nice job of using the shot fake, taking her time, and then look at her getting to the teeth of the defense off of the fast break and finding Schramm for the three-point basket. Vanderbilt had Fogey and Lister, who did a sensational job in the entire first half of really elevating and keeping their Commodore team afloat.
Fogey would finish that first half 3 out of 7, but 4 out of 4 at the line, 10 points, couple of assists. Neither team shot it real well in that first half, but Vanderbilt certainly took advantage of those free throws, 8 out of 8. Offensive rebounds, though, was the story. Really helpful for Texas A&M. They had 9 offensive rebounds, only 3 offensive rebounds for Vanderbilt. So in terms of second half basketball, if you're Melanie Balcom, you got to like the fact that you're up 7 and you still shot less than 40%.
Well, I think Vanderbilt has to continue to keep their defensive prowess because at the end of the day, Vanderbilt's not going to grow any taller in the second half.
They won't. There's no way.
I don't expect the offensive rebounds to change.
Right.
And so the domination of Texas A&M will remain in that second half. 8 to 2 second chance points, we saw that. They're going to have to do a better job of really rooting them out, and they're going to have to do a better job of knocking down shots and scoring in the open break to win this game.
All right, Commodores trying to break this little mini slide. They've lost back-to-back SEC games. We'll come back to Nashville, where the Commodores lead it by 7. Everybody wearing their pink here in Memorial Gymnasium, a pink out game to beat breast cancer. Great initiative here at Vanderbilt as you look at our Courtneys for Texas A&M and what they do. They are, we talked about them in the open. Courtney Williams averaging 13 points a game. Courtney Walker averaging 13.9, both in the top 20 in the conference in scoring, but have been held in check by this Vanderbilt defense.
Well, we talked about their ability to knock down the mid-range jump shot. Give Vanderbilt credit. They have done a good job of either forcing them all the way to the basket for contested shots or three-point shots. And for Vanderbilt, a little different story. Christina Fogarty, someone who I don't know if she can be stopped by anyone in the conference because she scores in so many different ways. And then Lister has done a good job as well. Only 4 points, but has done a good job of being a floor general and really distributing the basketball also.
Second half basketball coming up in a matter of moments. Here's my little man. I talked to him before the game today. Asked him, I said, what's your favorite thing about school? His response, lunch. Pink out game here at Memorial Gymnasium where Vanderbilt in their pink uniforms leading Texas A&M 30-27. But when you look at Texas A&M, they missed their first 11 shots of the game. They would finish up 8 out of 16 from the field after that horrendous start. This is where their points came from, 12 in the paint.
Well, it gives you the scouting report, shows you where the Aggies' bread is buttered. 12 points in the paint, 7 from the free throw line. Obviously, the strategy of Coach Blair is to go inside. And quite frankly, if the Commodores don't prove that they can stop them, why try any other alternative?
Jasmine Lister would finish finished with 4 points for Vanderbilt, their point guard, 2 rebounds, only 1 assist for the young lady that has 102 assists on the year. But she's been averaging 18.3 points per game in SEC play. And that's part of the reason is because she has been playing a ton of minutes. Jasmine Lister has been playing 40 minutes here the last couple of weeks, every single game. Last 10, she's only been out 6 minutes total.
Well, she is definitely a critical piece for her team. Actually played 47 minutes at Florida in a game last year. And she's an individual who is in great condition and continues to play to the level of her competition. It seems like whoever the guard is, she steps it up a notch, and that's what she's doing today.
Basket for Morgan Beatty, the sophomore out of Atlanta. Vanderbilt on the board early here to start the second half. Walker, baseline jumper is good. Good set from the Aggies.
Well, it looks like Coach Balcom has decided to double inside the post. Let's see how Webb does for Vanderbilt. Only a couple of minutes in that first half. She got into early foul trouble.
Boy, the steal by Katie Schramm. Fogarty, underneath goes Beatty, who will bring it back out. Boy, Walker defending Fogarty now. Tracking her all over the court. Here's Fogarty.
Nice look.
And a foul against Courtney Williams.
Well, if you're Fogarty right now, obviously she had a very good first half with 10 points, had 2 assists, but as you get the Aggies to begin to start concentrating on you a little bit more, I like what she's done early in this second half. Try to continue to attack the rim, but instead of attacking just to score, attack trying to find your teammates, as she did Webb on the previous play.
Basket from Marquez Webb at 6'1" out of Hoover, Alabama. Williams just picked up her 3rd foul for Texas A&M and a foul against Vanderbilt. You can count the basket for Carla Gilbert.
See the problem that Webb has, and she definitely gets Gilbert on the arm. The problem that she has is she allowed Gilbert to get too deep. Webb has a nice upside, a lot of potential that this staff sees in her. And what she'll have to learn to do is to either move the opponent out or move her feet and get around. You can't allow a young lady as good as Gilbert to get inside position that deep.
Fogarty. Now it's off to Beatty. Shot clock at 7. Beatty's jumper is short. Loose ball off the feet of Walker. It'll belong to Vanderbilt with a fresh shot clock.
What they talked about at the shoot-around this morning. They said if you don't get open on your first pass, as Lister has one go in and out, if you don't get open on that first pass, you have to continue to move and get open. Vanderbilt did a good job on that particular play against a tough defense.
Williams a little too strong. Rebound to Fogarty and a reach-in foul against Ade, and that will be her first of the game.
Scott Williams had some very good minutes in the first half as she comes back in the basketball game. Actually had 5 rebounds and 4 points in a limited 12 minutes. Not a surprise that she gets put back in the game by Coach Blair very early. Webb's got her inside. Got to get it to her a little bit earlier.
Put 15 on that shot clock. So Katie Schramm will inbound the basketball. Here's Fogarty on the wing, back to Lister. Fogarty goes backboard and converts.
Skilled. Very skilled. Took a look up at the shot clock, realized it was a need for her to take a quick one, and soft kiss off of the window.
That layup wouldn't go for Williams. It spun around the cylinder, and then Vanderbilt turns it over.
Nice job of battling that time by Vanderbilt. Agnes tried to set a screen to come inside.
Offensive rebound and the putback.
There's Scott Williams again, Dave. We talked about her productive minutes in the first half. She's given good activity on the glass, now 6 rebounds and only 13 minutes of action.
Junior college transfer out of Northwest Florida State Community College. Offensive foul against Vanderbilt, and that will go against Marquez Webb, and that'll be her 4th foul. Now, she's fouled out of 6 games this year.
Wow.
And she'll have to sit for a while. 16:33 to go in the game.
Let's take a look at it. Great call. Webb was definitely moving on the screen, and
here's Lister back the other way now. Perfect looking shot from Kylie Smith. Lead back to 8. Nice look. Easy basket underneath. Courtney Williams has definitely been a factor here for A&M today. He seems to be everywhere. And Fogarty knocked to the deck on the loose ball by Jones. 15:36 to go in this one. Commodores lead it by 6. Mr. Wrestler number 2 on hand here at Memorial Gymnasium. Given the anchor down sign here in Nashville, and boy, some good offense by Vanderbilt.
yeah, take a look at Vanderbilt here as they get out into the fast break. Now let's freeze it. First of all, give credit to Bovey. She's doing a good job of sprinting the floor. So Lister's actually going to have an option to make a pass here. As a result, when you let it go, Texas A&M cannot find. They're communicating. They're concentrating on Bovee. And then you see Smith is actually the one that receives the reward. A very good job of getting open into the transition offense again, and Texas A&M not communicating, allowing Vanderbilt to get another basket.
8-point lead now for the Commodores. Their biggest lead has been 9. Texas A&M has yet to lead in this one. They missed their first 11 shots of the game. They did finish the half 8 for 16 from the field after that horrendous start, but still have never led. There goes Courtney Williams again.
Every basket they get continues to be at point-blank range. If you're Vanderbilt, you're playing a dangerous game. You have to do a better job of staying in front of the basketball. And both Williams and Walker doing a good job of getting to the basket.
Foul on Scott. She ran right through the screen of Jasmine Lister.
And they talked about that at this morning's shoot-around day. They said, we really want you to hold your ground because Texas A&M is a very physical team, and a lot of times they'll try to run through your screen. So they made sure that the Commodores were low with their screens and that they stood up for the contact and absorbed the contact, as you saw Lister on the last play. Nice cut.
Tapped out of bounds, last touch by Fogarty.
Well, you see a turnover on the play, but if you want to be a good scorer and you're watching, keep an eye on Fogarty through this basketball game. You see how hard she works off of the ball. She uses the shot fake. She does a good job of picking and choosing when to shoot the jump shot, when to attack the basket. It's the reason why she leads this conference in scoring.
Underneath, Gilbert trips over Bovee, count the basket.
Well, again, when you're facing someone as athletic as Gilbert, you see Bovee tries to draw the offensive foul that time, but instead ends up allowing Gilbert for an opportunity to get a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
So the Aggies cut it back to 3. Every time it looks like Vanderbilt might stretch this out to double figures, A&M puts together a little 5-6 point run. Here's Bovee, had it ripped out of her hands by Courtney Williams.
Right now, Bovee having a tough time, and Texas A&M attacking the rim a lot more since Marquez Webb has went out with her 4th foul. And the entire time she's been out of the game, it seems as if that's when the Aggies have really made their run.
One-point game. Lister with 10 on the shot clock, guarded by Jones. Tapped around right into Jones's hands. She'll head back the other way. 7-0 run from Texas A&M. Tapped around, Fogarty scrambles. They'll say tie up, and the arrow favors Texas A&M.
Well, right now, if you're the Commodores, you've got to make some adjustments, and see a couple of substitutions right now in this basketball game. For Vanderbilt, Tia Long comes into the basketball game along with Jasmine Jenkins, trying to bring a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more toughness on that interior to combat what the Aggies have been doing over the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Scott, little dump down to Gilbert. And Texas A&M has their first lead of the afternoon. Timeout, Melanie Balcom and the Vanderbilt Commodores. We'll take the timeout as well. Texas A&M ranked 17th in the country, up 1 over 16th ranked Vanderbilt. Texas A&M with a huge size advantage over Vanderbilt in this game, and it's beginning to add up as A&M has their first lead.
Well, Texas A&M has done a tremendous job of getting the basketball into the paint. You can see Vanderbilt's trying to get back defensively, but Gilbert at 6'5", just too tall and too strong on the interior. And one of the reasons why Texas A&M has really came back is the foul trouble of Vanderbilt. You see Webb with 4 fouls, Beatty with 3, and they also have 3 other players with 2 fouls. And that's come from what we talked about earlier, the paint touches. Eventually, it's like chopping down a tree. It just eventually wears you down. And Texas A&M dominating the paint 14-2 in the second half.
A&M has scored on 8 of 12 possessions here in the second half. They scored on 11 of 33 possessions in the first half. Nowhere for Jenkins to go except right into that tall timber of A&M. Jones back the other way. No look pass. Oh, was that nifty?
I love it. Nice vision, nice feel for the basketball game. And right now, if you're Vanderbilt, not only do you have to do a better job defensively, but you got to get some baskets. This is where you look to your 2 leaders, and Lister and Fogarty.
Left-handed little hook from Raytia Long. Here's Jones. She has 5 assists. Now 139 on the year. She's second in the conference and handing out the basketball. Jones in the lane. Scoop shot as she hit the deck. Free throws coming up. 11-12 to play in this one. Been back and forth here in the second half. Texas A&M leading at 42-41. We've got 11-12 to go in the contest. The Regions Bank play of the game is a dynamite pass from Jordan Jones.
Well, she's done a sensational job of getting the basketball to the interior. Ranks 22nd in the nation and 3rd in the SEC. Actually 3rd in the league in assist to turnover ratio as well. And that's one of the reasons why you have so many paint points by the Texas A&M Aggies. They've outscored Vanderbilt today 28-16 and 16-4 in the second half, Dave.
Well, Jones will step to the free throw line. Quick update for you. Kentucky beat LSU today. Good win for Kentucky after a tough loss in Athens on Thursday night. Florida's up 20 on Ole Miss. South Carolina up 6 in the first half on Missouri. Arkansas and Auburn are all tied up in the first half, and Mississippi State leads Georgia by 11, 22-11 in the first half. Tennessee and Alabama coming up later on today. Texas A&M tied with South Carolina for first place in the conference. Matter of fact, if it comes down to a tiebreaker, A&M would win it. since they beat South Carolina 67-65 in overtime earlier this year. Lister, that's a nice little dribble drive, pull-up jumper, huh? Look a little Damian Fishback back in the day.
Well, that's what you expect from your veteran player, especially at home. You look for Lister, look for Fogarty to find your basket. Now, if you're Vanderbilt, you've got to get some stops on the defensive end.
They got one there. Here's Lister on the open floor, up ahead to Fogarty. Christina hit the bottom of the rim, back the other way. The Aggies on the run. One of the few times we've seen both teams up and down the floor.
Well, I think that tempo pays dividends to Vanderbilt right now as Gilbert scores another basket. You just can't allow her to get the basketball that deep on the interior. You have to make adjustments either front or you've got to try to double team her on the catch.
18 and 10 now for Gilbert. Count the basket. And a foul on Williams in the process. So you're going to count the basket, and then Vanderbilt will inbound the basketball after the foul away from where the shot was made.
An opportunity for a possible 4 or 5 point turnaround, and it is the correct call. The staff was right for Vanderbilt. This physical team, as you see a block back to half court. Almost like she took it out on that block, upset at the call, but Texas A&M does try to run through a lot of these screens, and so Vanderbilt's got to step up to the physicalities. See, the Aggies have scored 8 out of the last 9 possessions, and it's been from a lot of those passes like Jones tried to make on that possession.
Walker checks in, Williams to the bench.
See if Vanderbilt goes back zone to try to hide some of their foul trouble that they have right now. And know they're just in a, there they are, they're in a matchup zone now. Kind of sagging man-to-man. They want to continue to try to keep the basketball out of the paint and force Texas A&M to shoot it from perimeter.
Walker had to get the shot off. Offensive rebound again. Gilbert spins, fires, no good. Lister.
Nice.
Graham, good ball fake, layup.
This is the type of style and tempo you have for the Commodores.
Vandy back out in front by 1. Here's Jones. Jump shot is buried off the hands of Tavarsha Scott Williams.
Scott Williams is playing prodigious minutes off of the bench, Dave. She's continued to be an impact for this Aggie team on the road, and you can see why they're the only team in conference that's 4-0 in league play.
Reverse layup goes by Morgan Beatty. I'll try to find Scott Williams. She's 6 out of 6 today from the field. Well, here's Scott. Didn't find Scott Williams, they just found Scott. Either way, it works.
A word of advice, when you hear the crowd booing, that means you're doing something good on the road. Give Texas A&M credit, a tough start, but clawing their way back into this basketball game now.
See, I told you, find Scott Williams. She's now 7 out of 7 from the field. The assist to Jones, 3-point opportunity coming up. 7:36 to go in this one. A&M trying to build on the 3-point lead. Texas A&M with a chance to build on this three-point lead with a three-point opportunity coming up here out of this timeout. As you look at the SEC teams in the top 25, boy, this is such a, I mean, look at Texas A&M's tied for first in the league with a 7-1 league mark, and they're ranked 17th in the country. South Carolina ranked 7th. What a job Dawn Staley has done in just a few years over in Columbia, South Carolina, to get that program among the nation's elite. Going to be a great finish to this conference as we head toward Duluth, Georgia, the SEC Women's Tournament in March.
There's so many phenomenal players as well in this league on any given night. Go over to Tennessee, look at Simmons and Harrison. I already mentioned LSU, Paysance and Kenny. You never get a night off in this league, and the coaches, you have to prepare so many different schemes and strategy. You just never get a night off.
Morgan Beatty buries the jumper. Morgan now with 8 points. Career high, by the way, for Scott Williams with 14 points, 7 out of 7 from the field. Also 1 rebound away from a double-double.
I like the adjustment that Vanderbilt's made. If you watch 44 in pink, she's fronting all of the Vanderbilt Commodores are now fronting Gilbert in the post area now.
Tapped around right into Lister's hands. A foul against Jones of Texas A&M. Away from the basketball. That'll be her third. And that'll be the 6th team foul against Texas A&M. Today checks back into the game for Texas A&M. Good minutes from Long for Vanderbilt. She'll take a seat for a moment. Inbounds pass stolen away by Jones. Aggies by 1. Scott into the lane. Little dump down pass. Aday lays it up and in. 2 more in the paint for the Aggies.
Well, they're just not going to stop a relentless attack, especially in the transition.
Lister buries a 3, and Jasmine Lister now with 11 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds.
How about these two seniors? Young ladies realizing that the games that they have left to play together, see the emotion, excitement, and teamwork. Want to end a 2-game losing streak. Remember, this is the same building where they knocked off Tennessee earlier in this year.
Lister, the long rebound off the miss by Jones. Fogarty, wide open 3, no good. And a foul will be whistled against Jasmine Jenkins on the rebound. Jones had good position underneath. And that'll be the 16th foul against Vanderbilt.
Like the battle out of Jenkins, the freshman guard out of Gainesville. You know, she didn't get that rebound, but you love players who don't mind mixing it up a little bit. She's at home tonight, but on the road, those are the type of plays in the battles for rebounds that end up winning you ball games.
Gilbert fouled on the way to the basket. And if that's on Webb, that may be it.
And look at Gilbert down there working. That's a tough break if that is on Webb. And her 5th foul. And you hate that for the young lady. She only got to play about 8 minutes today. They were good minutes, and I'll tell you what, that last foul was about as tough as you can get. You can see some of the frustration on her face, but give credit to Gilbert, Dave. She knew that she had 4 fouls. She did a good job of sealing and drew the contact.
7th time this year that Webb has fouled out of a game. The freshman out of Hoover, Alabama, will watch the last 5:29. Here's Gilbert at the line. Gilbert, 6 out of 9 at the charity stripe today. Now has 19 points, 11 rebounds.
Just the silent assassin, double-double on the night. Played over 30 minutes now. Gilbert showing that her conditioning has improved, learning when to save her energy and when to explode.
Bogey fouled by Gilbert on the reverse layup. Sarcastic applause from the home crowd here. They've been waiting for a foul against Texas A&M.
Marquez Webb gave a standing ovation. You see Vanderbilt, 77% from the free throw line this season, second in the SEC. So as it comes down the stretch, it stays close. The Commodores, they can continue to get to the free throw line, give themselves a little advantage.
Christina Fogarty now with 14 points.
I like this matchup zone, Dave. Again, they're trying to bait the Aggies into shooting from the perimeter because of their success into the paint.
Blocking foul against Lister. That'll be the third foul against Jasmine. And a 1-on-1 situation coming up for Texas A&M.
Lister kind of had a look on her face like, come on, give me that foul now. So motivated. When you're a senior, Dave, you know, it gets to about this point in the conference schedule that you actually think about the games that you have left. You know, if you're Lister, if you're Fogarty for Vanderbilt, you start to look at those games and say, wow, we've only got 8, 9 more games left in the season to play together. And so every game's so valuable. And there's no one who wants this W at home more than Lister and Fogarty for the Commodores.
58-56. Texas A&M trailed by as many as 9 in this game. Leaded by a pair. 4:45 to play. Lister baseline. Here's Fogarty, the SEC's leading scorer. Entry pass stolen away. Knox back the other way. And another foul on Lister, and that'll be her fourth. And more free throws coming up. Lister, a rare time you will see her leave the playing surface, but she will sit for probably till our next media timeout, which is coming up in the under 4 window. She doesn't even know where to sit. It's been so long since she's been over the bench. She's still walking around over there trying to find a place to sit.
Well, and when you're Lister, you just don't want to come off that floor realizing how much her teammates need her. Texas A&M, you know, through the struggles from the field early in the basketball game, from playing down in the first half, have showed a lot of resilience. And you can certainly see why they are 4-0 and undefeated on the road, and the only team to do that in the SEC thus far.
First time Lister, by the way, has been on the bench at home in an SEC game. And when she gets to sit on the bench, she watches her teammate Ratia Long lay one in. Gilbert spins, fires, that won't go. Follow won't go. Last touch spot, the Aggies. Crunch time here in Nashville. Final 3:47 coming up on the other side. It has been close here in the second half. Texas A&M down 9 at one point in the second half, lead it by 2. They have scored 36 of their 60 in the paint. You can give a lot of that credit to Gilbert, who has a career-high 20 points and 11 rebounds. Fogey with 14, but still having a tough time finding her rhythm from the field. Just 4 of 11. You look at Gary Blair's Aggies, they have been able to close games out. Boy, that is hard to do. The fact that they're 16-0 when they have the lead with under 4 to go is impressive.
Well, Coach Blair has been one of the best in the business, and you see Vanderbilt trying to run a little clock here and make sure that they get a good look at the basket. Nice execution.
Jasmine Jenkins slices her way into the lane. The sophomore lays it up and in and ties it at 60. 3 timeouts left for Vanderbilt. A&M has all of theirs remaining. Here's Gilbert trying to add to her career high. She'll do it at the free throw line.
Well, just a mismatch. Right now, Vanderbilt didn't do a good job of communicating in their zone. And what's happening is when Texas A&M gets the basketball on the wing after running a cutter through, you're having Long, who is really a true form of inside presence for Vanderbilt with Webb out of the game. She's having to step out. And so you have guards like Schramm or even Lister that are trying to guard Gilbert and just giving up too many inches on the interior.
Gilbert gets 1 out of 2. Snapped a streak of 6 straight free throws made by A&M. All told, A&M at the line 16 out of 24. Vanderbilt 11 out of 12.
Got to get into your offense now. Too much dribbling by Lister against a good defensive team. Got to set some screens, get some movement. This is much better here. Another shot clock's running down for the Commodores.
5 on the clock. Off the backboard, count it for Beatty. Just threw it in off the window.
A nice job of execution, and when you're facing good defensive teams, many times the opportunity will come with less than 5 or 6 seconds on the shot clock. As you see Webb still continuing to root on her teammates, even though she is out now with 5 fouls.
Vanderbilt 12 out of 13 at the free throw line. They were 4th in the conference, they were 2nd in the conference in free throw percentage at 76% as a team. 14th best number in the country. Strong move to the basket. And free throws coming up for Jones.
On that particular play, Mark Zins pointed down to the semicircle, which you see Long was definitely in the correct call. Blocking foul. That time Long had the right idea, but she was hanging so close to Gilbert that she forgot to help early on the weak side defensively. Right now, if you're Vanderbilt, you have one thing on your mind. If Jones misses this free throw, and you see she shoots 79%, but only 3 of 5 on the day, you want to make sure you box out.
Vanderbilt's committed 24 fouls. That is a season high in that department for the Commodores.
I give credit for the Aggies for putting the onus of the officials to blow the whistle. The Aggies, even though they came up short, continued to go inside.
Here's Fogey. Christina with 14 points. Took it right into the traffic. Gilbert there with the basketball.
Didn't move him enough. Against a good defensive team, you go one pass or no pass, it is very difficult to score because defensively they're set and they're solid. And as a result, it makes it extremely difficult to get to the paint area.
Fogey and Lister are the 2 leading scorers for this Vanderbilt team. Fogey leads the conference at 19 a game, sitting on 14, but just 4 out of 12 from the field. Lister has 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in this game. Now, Fogey also does have 4 dimes as well, so they find other ways to be involved, but still, nonetheless, those two are the 2 of the 3 that are in double figures for the Commodores. On the other side of the ledger, Gilbert has had one of those outstanding performances, a career high. She's our Regions Bank Player of the Game for her efforts, 21 and 12. She's 6 of 11 from the field, 9 out of 13 from the free throw line. She has just been unstoppable down in the paint. There just hasn't been an answer for Vanderbilt.
Right now, the Commodores are up 1 point. Less than 2 minutes left to go in this basketball game. Will not be a basket or a pass. There will be a 50-50 ball that decides this game.
Lister steps in, makes the steal, gets it to Fogey, trips in the lane. Katie Schramm turns and fires. 3-point Vanderbilt lead. Timeout, Gary Blair.
Got a little excitement here. And right now, if you're the Commodores, you led the entire first half. And in this second half, you got down a little bit, but stayed tenacious on the offensive end, getting early offense. And a good job of Schramm, sophomore guard, out of York Catholic, who had a season high earlier against Auburn of 14 points, comes up with a clutch basket here with 1:28 left to go in the game.
Take a look at our SEC standings. You'll see South Carolina and Texas A&M tied for the top spot. On their heels, LSU and Tennessee. Although Kentucky knocked off LSU today 63-56 in Lexington earlier today. Florida dismantled Ole Miss. And South Carolina up 23 on Missouri at the half, so it looks like the Gamecocks will improve to 8-1.
Long doing an outstanding job fighting Gilbert for position on the interior.
Taken away by Long.
Give that entire defensive trip to Ratia Long, number 44 in pink.
Here's Jones on a takeaway. All the way back, won't go. Rebound by Scott. Huge play by Texas A&M to cut it to 1 when Vanderbilt could have milked the clock.
We said this would boil down to a 50-50 ball. Offensive rebounds. You've heard it once, you've heard it a million times. Not the first shot, but the second shot that beats you. Now it's up to the Commodores to come down here and answer.
Beatty got the friendly roll. Timeout, Gary Blair wants to get Williams back in the game.
Well, in one of the most watched college basketball games yesterday, Duke versus Syracuse, we saw Syracuse decide not to foul, and here you see good penetration and a nice finish by Beatty. Vanderbilt is now up 3 points, so the question is, will you foul Vanderbilt? You're up 3 points, 31.8 seconds left to go in the basketball game. You're at home. Do you foul or do you not foul? And if I'm Coach Blair, I'm going to score going to the rim. You don't have to have a three-pointer this early. You went to the paint and been successful all night. Try to score, but score quickly at the rim and then give your defense a chance in the backcourt.
Boy, how efficient has Vandy been down the stretch. I've always said it about Melanie Balcom's clubs, the most efficient offensive team you'll see night in and night out. They've hit 5 of their last 6 shots in clutch time. You know, you talked about three-point shots for A&M. They have yet to hit one today. They are 0 for 3 from behind the arc.
Well, the key for Vanderbilt is if you're not going to foul, then don't foul. When it gets to the rim, don't give the Aggies a chance for a three-point play.
Boy, a foul on the inside on Long. That'll be her fourth, and that'll send Gilbert to the free throw line. Well, I tell you what, I got to say this. They've been going at it like that in the post all game, and to call that this late when we've seen that kind of contact.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. But one of the things that coaches ask, they ask if you're going to call that foul with 1 minute into the basketball game, that you call that foul with 1 minute left to go in the basketball game. So give Mark Gents credit. Stuck by his call. If you're Vanderbilt now, you've got to be prepared to, number one, box out. But if not, you want to make sure that you take care of the basketball and get prepared to get fouled by Texas A&M.
Got them both. Substitution knocks into the game. Little defense on the floor now. Gary Blair goes a little bit smaller to match up better against this Vanderbilt team. 1 point game with 20.8 seconds to play. Texas A&M has one timeout left. Vanderbilt has three, but you can take one off the board now. Tell you what, this this Vanderbilt team has lost to South Carolina and Missouri their last two outings, and both of those games have been decided in the final 30 seconds. The third game in a row for Melanie Balcom that is coming down to the wire. Can they pull one of these out? They lost their last two.
Well, listen, one of the strengths of the Commodore team is their backcourt, their guard play. When you talk about Fogel, you talk about Lister, a couple of seniors who have been through this many times. So the first key is to get open, because with a stifling Texas A&M defense, they're going to make you work hard to get the basketball inbounds. Second of all, if you can't get it inbounds, you still have two timeouts. Third, once you get the basketball inbounds, be strong with it and be prepared to be fouled. On the other hand, if you're Texas A&M, you only got about 5 to 10 seconds before you really have to go ahead and foul with only 20 seconds left to go in the game.
There's the quick foul. Jordan Jones hits Beatty on the arms. Free throws coming up down at the other end. A 1-and-1 situation, though. Not a double bonus yet. That is the 9th team foul, and that'll send Beatty to the line, who on the year, Beatty is 66%. Today, 12 out of 13 for the Commodores. See if that trend can continue with the sophomore out of Atlanta.
This next free throw critical for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Texas A&M has made one three-pointer or less in 9 games this season. And so if you can knock this down, make it very difficult for the Aggies to send you in the overtime.
Knox kicks it to Gilbert. Fouled and counted. A chance to tie it up at the free throw line.
Just can't make that mistake if you're Long. We talked about it about a minute ago. We said either you foul to keep them from making the three, or if you're not going to foul, then you just don't foul them. Unfortunately for Long, she had her hands straight up. Gilbert did initiate the contact, but you've got to almost shy away when you're up 3 points and you're at home. Candidly, I like to foul if you're up 3 points at this time.
Vandy takes a 30-second timeout. Boy, Gilbert having a heck of a night. 25 points, a career high, 12 rebounds. He's 11 out of 15 from the free throw line. All told, Texas A&M is 20 out of 29 at the line today. Gilbert's been the story. I mean, they have not had an answer for her. Gilbert's fouled out 2 players now, Webb and Long. Both post players are on the bench with 5.
Right. Well, and right now, you know, you're in for a basketball game. The good news for the Commodores is that they do have a timeout left. And so if she makes this free throw, if I'm Vanderbilt, I like not calling the timeout, because if you do call a timeout, you allow Texas A&M to set up into a defense, and we already know they're the 11th ranked defense in the nation. If you don't get the rebound and Texas A&M has a chance to put it back up, then obviously you're in a difficult situation, and you just got to make sure you box out.
How clutch is that from Carla Gilbert?
Smart.
So a full timeout taken by Texas A&M. We'll take it with them. Final 10.2 seconds coming up. Gary Blair saved all of his timeouts and has used them all in the last 3 minutes, 4 of them, and his final one just now to kind of get his troops set defensively. One of the best defensive teams in the country will have to grind it out one more possession.
Give credit to Coach Blair. Multiple chess moves down the stretch here. A lot of coaches, even though they hadn't made three-point shots, down 3, would have went to the three-point line, but instead he continued to pound the ball inside. Now he got fortunate, got a nice call versus Long, and Gilbert initiated the contact. With that being said, if you're Vanderbilt here, the question is, do you take a look and see what defense the Texas A&M is that they're in, or do you try to get the ball across half court and then give yourself another timeout and run a play?
So Lister will get it. Texas A&M sags back. 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Here's Beatty trying to get free. And bumped on the way to the basket by Scott with 2.2 seconds left. And now you're in a double bonus. That's the 10th team foul. 2 free throws coming up. Vandy is 14 out of 15 at the line. Beatty 5 out of 5. Beatty on the year came in at 66%.
And if you're at home watching this basketball game, Vanderbilt has given you the recipe as to why free throws are so important. When you finish that workout, when you finish those sprints at the end of practice, take those free throws serious. It's the difference in the basketball game for the Commodores. Now 16 of 17 from the line.
Here's Jones, half-court shot on the way, off the back of the iron. That would have won it. Melanie Balcom can take a deep breath. She has been under the weather, but she'll take the win, snapping the 2-game losing skid. Texas A&M falls for the first time on the road in SEC play. Final score, 69 for Texas A&M. Vandy puts up 71. So for Damian Fishback, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. We will see you down the road.